Hi everybody, this is Loch Mullins, and I am coming to you in a tarot minute. Woohoo! In a tarot minute. I'm not going to do that. Anyway, my tarot minutes seem to have turned out to be more like 5 or 10 minutes, but I want to show you something really quick here. I'm going to flip through really cool deck. It's called the Prediction Deck, and it's a pip deck. I'm going to tell you that right now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you these are court cards. Should I get up closer? I know I'm flipping through really fast, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. There's a reason for that, though, and we'll get to it in a minute. And here are some of the, oh, there we go, pips. Very, very plain pips. Things just hanging out. No background, no scenery, no cool difference in colors. Here's the back of the deck. Little teeny tiny castles. Okay. So, I basically am really just going to flip through the majors. Did I mention, I don't know if I did mention, that the Artists deck, I think, was a mid-80s, maybe even right mid-80s, maybe 85, I'm going to guess. And the artist is Peter Richardson. And I'm going to start flipping through in just a minute. But the reason that I'm going to flip through and picked a major deck is so that I can't talk very long. But I want to talk to you. Let me set a mood for you. And I'll start flipping. Last night at midnight, I'm in my comfy Star Trek jammies. And you know what? I'm going to flip the other way since I do have a little bit of light on this side. Any of those of you who've seen my videos before know my lighting's horrible in here. I need really to do something about it. So, in my jammies, got a good cup of coffee. I made a granny square Afghan. There are peace signs in the middle of it, and I backed it with fleece, and so it's really thick and cozy, and I'm outside on my front porch. I went out at midnight, and I lit some candles on my front porch. I do live in the city, but I was lucky enough, all the traffic, at least the traffic that I noticed, was all kind of far away. None of it was up too close. And what I did last night out on my front porch was I read the first story in a book of short stories. And it's just in my Kindle, so I can't really give you a lot of details about the books. But the book is called Wax and Wane, and at least when I got this a couple of weeks ago, it was pretty inexpensive for a Kindle, for an Amazon Kindle book. This is not a Kindle, it's an Android, but, you know, the app works fine. So, the reason that we're talking about this in a tarot minute is because the short story, the book is called Wax and Wane, A Gathering of Witch Tales, and the first short story does involve a person who reads tarot cards. And I have to I don't know whether to tell you this or later at the end, but the first story is written by, she's got to be some kind of a mystic. Her name is K.A. Hardway. And you probably already all know this. All 3 or maybe 4 of you who are going to watch this. That is the, K.A. Hardway is the secret identity of Dead Cheeky that we all love to watch and we all know. And I told her I don't know, maybe even a month ago, that I had bought this because I knew she'd written the first story, and that I was waiting. And last night it was cold enough outside, and I was cozy enough with my blanket, and there was a little bit of fog, and it was really nice outside last night. I could hear crickets chirping. It was a perfect night. But let me tell you, I can't tell you how many pages it is. My best guess is about 16. But I really don't know, because my Kindle thing was doing that. It tells you the percentage that you have written, and I could not get it off of that. Sometimes my app sticks and I can't get to the page numbers. Or maybe some books just don't work in my app. I don't know what it is, but my best guess is it's about 16 pages long, and I really can't tell you, with a story that short, I really feel like I can't tell you anything about the story. But let me tell you that it was creepy, it was believable, it was written in a style that is intelligent without being overly intelligent. You know how some writers like to show off that they're smart. You can tell that that the writing is smart. You can tell Dead Cheeky's just dead smart, and but it was not overly done. It was, did I say it was atmospheric? Because it was atmospheric. It was just really wonderful. And it was creepy, and I can't tell you anything about the end, but it kind of took me by surprise. I was actually, see, I don't even want to say that. The end took me by surprise. I can't wait to read the rest of the stories. If the rest of the stories are as good as Dead Cheeky's story, it's going to be a wonderful book. I don't know. I had a little bit of reservation about using her real name, but she said on her thing that she wrote the first story, so, and I imagine most people know her real name, first and last name. And I hope I've even read the right story. I'm sure she said she wrote the first one, and it is K.A., so I know her real name starts with a K, so please read this. It was delightful. It was the best way to spend, an evening outside. And when I was done, I blew bubbles off my front porch. Yeah, it was like after midnight, and I'm blowing bubbles off my front porch. It was terrific. I'm so glad that I read that. And I don't like short stories. I'm not a short story reader. I like to delve into novels with, where stories are longer and more involved and twisted. And I'm the only one in the house that really doesn't care for short stories. But I was really, really glad that I read this, and I don't want to keep repeating myself, so I'm done. Thank you for listening to this for like 9-minute ramble, and please, please, please get this book and read at least the first story. The first story, worth the price of the book. The price of the book was, hopefully it hasn't changed. When I bought it, it was not much. It was very, very reasonable. And Dead Cheeky's story, definitely worth the price of the book. So thank you all for listening to me. I have more, I'm always saying I have more ideas, but I do. I have ideas. Hopefully I'll get them done. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Lots of love to you all.